pretty much worse. We got the Dodgers. Cool. But, I mean, Joe, you predicted the Battle of Ohio. They both get knocked out in the first round. We're going to get back into it. But first, Joe, how are you doing? We have the World Series tonight. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good. I do want to say one thing. At least the Reds were the only team that could shut down the Braves hitting.
Fair.
Got to give them some credit. But, man, those predictions were bad. I mean, we predicted it was going to be more of like a crazy year than we thought it was actually going to end up. A couple of our predictions didn't go the right way just because if you look at the White Sox, A's, Garrett Crochet coming out in his second or third inning with forearm tightness or something like that.
Yeah.
That was a huge blow in that game. They wanted 4 to 5 innings out of him, and the game just kind of opened up after that, and it got closer than it really possibly should have been because he was dealing. So, and Shane Bieber just did not pitch like Shane Bieber.
Did not.
That was
Did
rough.
not. We're gonna get into it all. We're gonna get into it all, honestly.
But I'll tip my cap to Trevor Bauer. He's gonna get paid.
Always showing out. I don't know where he's gonna go, but he's gonna go somewhere that's gonna treat him right. He's gonna pay him nice. But we're gonna get back into this bracket. I mean, we just went over the A's and the White Sox. We whiffed on that one. One team we really missed, the Twins and Astros series. The Astros ended up taking that one, and the Astros actually ended up going all the way to the ALCS. We're one game away from the World Series without the trash cans. The Astros did it without trash cans. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe how far the Astros got this year. 29-31, didn't play good all year. They get into the playoffs to get all the way to the ALCS. And one game away from 2020 being the worst year ever. But it ended up being Tampa Bay. What did you think about like the Astros this year? I mean, that Twins series, we all thought the Twins were going to go a little further than they did. That's what we predicted at least. But I mean, the Astros, they were getting in there.
I never loved the Twins, but it's hard to see the Astros play that well, especially, not getting penalized as much as they really should have and, ruining players' careers and then getting rewarded with only losing their manager and their GM, who honestly, if you look at it, their GM was amazing.
Yeah.
But, bringing in a Tampa guy now and, honestly, Jeff Luhnow is just an awful human being. So if, just bringing in a better personnel guy kind of saved them. Dusty Baker, AJ Hinch, there's no difference. AJ Hinch is probably a better manager. Dusty's more of the players guy.
Yeah.
But I give credit to the Astros. They looked really good. Missing Verlander, missing Yordan Alvarez. No Garrett Cole this turnaround too. I give him a lot of credit. Lance McCullers, I like him a lot. I think he's a very good pitcher. I think he's very underrated. And I got to give credit, George Springer hitting free agency, balled out in the postseason. And Carlos Correa, honestly, finally starting to look like one of the best players in Major League Baseball. So I'm happy Altuve's messing up, but, you got to tip your cap to the Astros a little bit as much as it sucks to do.
Yeah, they played well. I remember we went in this video. I kind of skipped over that first series. I'm like, well, we're going with the Twins. We're not even going to give the Astros time, but they ended up getting that close. With Verlander, they probably are in the World Series right now. But
possibly, yes. Yeah.
I mean, it was one game away, and Verlander can be that one game. But, it's the Astros. They're not in. 2020 is a little better. But your Cleveland Indians, our Cleveland Indians, I mean, we all picked them in that video. Nico's not here at the moment, but he picked them too. The Yankees ended up defeating the Cleveland Indians in that series, which wasn't a huge surprise per se.
Oh, no, not at all.
But I think you were high on those Indians. You thought it was going to be Cleveland versus the Reds, and it was the complete opposite. So where does that kind of leave, I mean, the Yankees are still good.
Oh, yeah, of course. But I think people have to understand how good the Indians can be if Francisco Lindor signs a long-term deal. Yeah. I think the jump to conclusions about him getting traded is absolutely ridiculous. You don't trade a player of that stature. You just don't give up a guy that good unless it calls for it.
Right.
If he tells them, I do not want to sign a long-term deal, then you start looking to move him. But until he says those words, you do not move him. Boston got a great haul back for Mookie Betts. Great player, top 3 player in the game, might be the best player on the planet still standing. He is the best player on the planet still standing.
Yeah, still playing, yeah.
But the gap between him and Mike Trout, it honestly isn't that big.
Not at the moment, no.
No. So, Boston got a good haul back. Whatever you get. But wait until he tells you no.
Yeah.
Cleveland, if you're looking at signing him, you have a lot of players under cost control contracts. You guys do a great job of bringing up players and developing your own team. Do not let the best player that possibly ever played for the franchise walk out the door.
You can't.
You will win a World Series with Francisco Lindor and Shane Bieber at your helm. Don't mess it up.
I'd agree. If the Indians keep this core and they keep building on it, I think a World Series title will be in their future. Very likely, at least an appearance, again. Because they were one game away from winning a World Series against Chicago, but the magic of Chicago was there that year. So,
I think go out this offseason and go get players. Michael Brantley's a free agent. You need a left fielder. You need a corner outfielder that's going to absolutely rake, that can maybe hit some DH time. Go get Michael Brantley back. Go get some relievers. Just pad your team up, and they will be back. And as long as they don't make a move and trade Francisco Lindor, you might see Nolan Jones come up next year to play third base for them. Move Jose Ramirez over to second. Have Cesar Hernandez playing all over, as well as Jose Ramirez. So you have big opportunity to win a championship. Do not pass up on the window by trading your best player.
Yeah, if you trade Lindor, you just kind of shut off any chance at a championship. That's kind of the point I'm making here. But I mean, I agree with you. I think they should keep Lindor, unless if they get an offer they absolutely can't refuse. And I don't think any team can really offer that right now. So we'll see what they do. Another team that will be back, I think we both think this, is Toronto. They played the eventual AL champion Tampa Bay Rays. They lost. We expected this. We predicted this. A lot of people, we said in the beginning of the season, maybe the Blue Jays can make some noise if they get into the playoffs. They didn't get a higher seeding enough to not have to play Tampa. And it was just kind of, the road ended. The road ended a lot earlier than they might have hoped. But this team is young with Bo and Vladdy. And they've been acquiring players. They had Robbie Ray for a minute right now this year. But they're a young team. I have a lot of faith in them, and I think that they'll be back. And I think that you might see a lot of Blue Jays and Indians competition in the next 2 to 3 years in the postseason. But, I mean, Tampa Bay, they advanced. It wasn't anything too crazy to think about. It was the one series in the AL that we got right, and I just want to be able to celebrate something for once in this bracket. The NL we didn't do too bad on in the first round, but, I mean, I do want
to say the AL East is going to become loaded again, as much as people don't think it's good anymore. The Yankees will be the Yankees. The Yankees are going to be the Yankees. The Red Sox are going to be back, especially with Bloom. He's already making moves that I'm a Red Sox fan. I absolutely love what he's doing. He's starting to bring that Dodgers type of Rays mentality and adding depth and then paying for guys when see fit.
Yeah.
Because that's what the Red Sox and the Dodgers have luxury over the Rays in doing. You can go out and get this astronomical depth and make your player development situation way better, like the Rays do, but then also sign guys and trade for guys like Mookie Betts and do this and do that and have that luxury. And honestly, Baltimore is looking like they're going to start taking a next step. So I can really see this whole division being pretty good soon. I don't see the Rays going away. I don't see Toronto. I can see Toronto winning many, many divisions. Their 2 best players aren't even Bo Bichette and Vlad Guerrero. It's Teoscar Hernandez and Lourdes Gurriel. So, they're very stacked on offense. They have some good pitching coming up. I hope they make a splash.
Yeah, we'll see if they do. I mean, this offseason is going to be interesting. We'll probably get into that maybe a little bit today and then another time. But The NL was a lot better for us. That we did okay, except for one team named the Cincinnati Reds. But we all thought the Reds were going to be lucky. It's not just you, Joe. We all thought they were going to go pretty far. But the Dodgers, they beat the Brewers. No surprise there. I don't even want to spend time on that because we're going to talk a lot about the Dodgers in a little bit. San Diego took down St. Louis. Again, we all saw that coming.
Excited to see San Diego's future.
Oh,
if
for
the
sure.
If the NL sticks with a DH, I hope they keep Mitch Moreland, and they're going to be really good.
Yeah, they're not. I don't think they'll stick with the DH. But if it happens, they're in better shape. Honestly,
I'd love to see the DH stick, though. I think it's time that you take the guy in the 9 spot out of the order in the NL and just let guys rake. You open more job opportunities for guys that normally wouldn't.
Yeah.
And you let pitchers stay healthy, and any shot of them getting hurt in the box, or on the base paths goes away. So I think it's perfect.
There's not everyone's Madison Bumgarner. It's either Madison Bumgarner or Bartolo Colon in terms of hitting. So, I think we finally got to see Bartolo Colon hit a home run, and I think that should have been the shutoff for pitchers pitching in the National League. We saw everything that we ever want to see out of that thing. And yeah, I do agree that DH in the National League would lead to more runs, would lead to more jobs, like you mentioned. It's really just better for baseball, honestly. It opens more teams. They can sign more hitters. And you don't have to sit there saying, oh, that guy's an easy out. But I don't know if they will. That's the question. I'm sure it'll be voted on soon enough, especially after watching what happened this year. But Chicago and Miami, we picked the upset there with Miami, and they actually did it. We actually got something right for once in terms of a bold prediction. But Chicago and Miami, what do you think about Miami? Because
Derek Jeter's making moves, and seeing that their baseball president of operations is gone now too. The Angels just got rid of Billy Epler, who was instrumental in the Yankees for many years with this whole turnaround into more of an analytics Yankees. He didn't do a great job in LA, but Derek Jeter and him know each other well, and this could be the start of something in Miami. I think he just needs a second chance, and Sixto Sanchez and Sandy Alcantara are all you need to start. Both of those guys are studs. And they have the Corey Dickersons and the Brian Andersons and those guys of the world, and you can build a pretty good team around that. They have a really good catcher too in Alfaro. Starling Marte is interesting to see if they keep him next year instead of dish him away. I could see him possibly leaving, but
I see him leaving.
But the Corey Dickersons, the Brian Andersons, the Jorge Alfaros, they're very, very good major league players. I hope Brian Anderson takes his next step into stardom because I really do like him a lot. So I think you might see this team, especially with J.J. Bleday, the former first-round pick last year, start to come into play. Their pitching's pretty good. The Zach Allen mistake was the only reason I don't see them just as a scary team.
Yeah.
Because if you have Zach Allen in that starting rotation for the next 5 years with the two of those guys, you're looking at a 3-headed monster. So,
yeah, they're one of those teams that I don't think is scary, like you said, but I think has a lot of potential to be a really solid team in this league. I don't think that they'll hit Dodger level or anything like that, but I think that they'll be a very good team that can make a few postseasons, and then that NL East can really win a division maybe within the next 2 to 3 years. But we'll see.
Bold take, though. Bold take. I'm one of the only people in this world that hates their uniforms and hates their stadiums.
Really? You don't like the uniforms?
Nope. Don't like the uniform or the stadium.
Did you do you think the older ones are better? I mean, I don't know. I like the Marlins uniforms. I like the colors. I don't know.
I don't mind the colors. I just think they could, the all whites aren't bad, but I don't like the stadium. I think it's too modern.
Well, yeah, the stadium's the stadium. I don't care about the stadium. I'm talking about the uniform.
I find baseball hard to watch if you don't like the stadium that they're playing in.
Fair. No, that's fair.
I'd rather watch a San Diego Padres game or, a Giants game or something like that than watch, I don't know, a Tampa game or a Miami game just because of the aesthetic, But
it'll also look a lot better once there's fans back in the stands. But, with Tampa Bay, there still won't be fans in the stands, even if they win the World Series. So, that's the reality of Tampa and Miami. Fans are not going to show up. It doesn't matter how many games they win. But That's its own topic. That's its own topic, really. But our big whiff, we're finally here. We're finally here to our big whiff. Atlanta and Cincinnati. We thought Cincinnati was an NLCS team. They were not. Not because of the pitching. We were very right about the pitching. But
Very
that
extremely.
hitting was just not they just didn't show up in that series against Atlanta. It is what it is. If they showed up, if the hitting showed up, that team could have went as far as we thought they would have gone. But I mean, Trevor Bauer. Wow. I know you want to talk about these guys. I know I'll let you take that one.
No, he was electric. I don't actually see him leaving like a lot of other people do. We're going to talk about this in our predictions for the offseason eventually.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to jet Cincinnati as much as other people do. They'll pony up to pay him if he's a 1 or 2 year contract guy.
Yeah.
He said it. That's what he wants. So Cincinnati can pay him in short spurts. That's what you forget about teams. Teams don't want to pay guys long term. Tampa Bay can pay him in a 2-year spurt. Look what they did with Charlie Morton. So I wouldn't rule out Cincinnati and signing him back, but man, he's a bad, bad man. He is just taken everything that baseball has pushed against him, hated against him.
Yeah.
And he's literally just strutting like Conor McGregor out there saying, screw you, screw you, screw you. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, he's going to do his thing.
I absolutely all day. Love it. And I love his effect he's had on their pitching staff. I love his effect that he's had on their player development staff, bringing driveline baseball there, momentum baseball, repping his own brand. There's not a player in baseball I want to see more every day on the TV. I wish he was an everyday player. Trevor Bauer. Guy's just a stud. He shows it. He loves the game. He wants the game to be better. And watching him just carve up the Braves, who have not even been touched all postseason about hitting.
Carve them up. Dodgers.
Carve them up. Not even give them a chance. What do you have? 11 Ks, just making hitters look silly. If he doesn't win the Cy Young this year, the voting's rigged, and
big time.
And I think Luis Castillo, Sonny Gray, all these guys, they've all pitched super well this year. Castillo looked awesome, game 2.
Yeah.
Their bullpen gave everything they could. Absolutely everything they could. But when you have zero room for a mistake, it's going to happen.
I mean, if you put up 0 runs, you're not going to win the baseball game.
And if it's 0-0, a pitcher can have a decent day and give up 1 run.
Yeah.
A good day is 1 run if you're a starting pitcher. You just can't do anything. So, you know what? The Reds, I'm not mad about my Reds pick. If you look at Kyle Wright, Ian Anderson, both shoved this postseason. Absolutely shoved. So, you know what? Tips off to the Braves on a great season. If you look at my thing back here, I got a lot of Braves memorabilia.
Yeah.
Family's Braves fans, wanted to see them do the best, but listen, the Reds, if the Reds get Bauer back and sign a shortstop like Didi or Simeon, dangerous.
They'll be good. If they can get that help, get that hitting, they'll be good. But 2 teams that are good, we're finally going to get to the World Series here for a bit. We have the Dodgers, who are on paper the best team in all of baseball. I don't think anybody will deny that. Again, on paper. And right now, they are the best team in baseball. We'll see if the Tampa Bay Rays can show them, hey, maybe you're not. Maybe you can choke again. This is the Dodgers' 3rd World Series appearance in the last 4 years. They haven't won one since '88, I believe. They are just – the fans are just waiting. They need a World Series. The Dodgers fans need a World Series. But Tampa Bay, they could use one too. Why not? But let's just get straight into it. Who do you think is going to take this World Series? How many games? Who's going to win the MVP? Let's get into it all. Let's go.
I think the Dodgers' biggest challenge was in the NLCS. I really do. I think the second best team in baseball this year was the Dodgers, or in the Braves. But Hey, I love the Rays. I love the way they're built. It's what I want to do for a living. I hope I can build a team like that
Yeah.
someday. But I personally think this Dodgers team might be the greatest baseball team that's ever been assembled.
Hmm.
Um, they are so well designed for anything, absolutely anything. Whether it's let's go get Brusdar Graterol and throw him in the sixth inning, the third inning. You got your Dustin May, you got Graterol. These guys are starters on postseason teams last year. Dustin May was what, the Dodgers' fourth starter?
Yeah.
Brusdar Graterol was an up-and-coming prospect with the Twins and basically just got handed to them for Kenta Maeda. Imagine if Kenta Maeda was still on this team. And he might even won the AL Cy Young this year if it wasn't for Bieber.
Right.
So, you look at this Dodgers team, only having to give up Alex Verdugo, who was a bench bat for them, a platoon guy for them, for Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts, Cody Bellinger, two of the top 10 players in this game. Corey Seager is arguably one of the best players in baseball. No one talks about him. Just because he's been injured, he's a quiet guy. He literally is a lefty Cal Ripken at shortstop. People just don't see it. Then you have your Justin Turner, your Kike Hernandez, who can play any position, anytime, when you can mix him in with Chris Taylor, Max Muncy, that catching group. Even Edwin Rios hit, 2 homers?
They're all
in
hitting
2
right.
big games? And then you even go to their relievers and their starters. You have Walker. How many guys in that pitching staff touch under 97? Ever.
I can't even tell you.
It's ridiculous. And watching the games, I saw this guy, Victor Gonzalez, come in. I was like, who's this? I looked him up. 1 ERA this year. Jake McGee pitched great this year after being righted off for in a few spots now. I didn't even know those guys were on the roster.
Yeah.
And they're pitching in big spots and pitching great. I don't think there's a team that's ever been assembled that's better than this Dodgers team. I don't think it's close. Maybe the Indians in the 90s with that murderer's row lineup, but they didn't even have that great of a pitching staff.
Yeah, those old Reds.
Those teams weren't as balanced as this team. And why do you think they've been in the World Series the last 3 out of 4 years or whatever?
3 out of 4. Still have not won one.
It comes down to consistency, and if you look at the Dodgers, baseball is not a sport where you see that.
No,
it's not. Other than your Yankees teams back in the day, you don't see teams that win World Series multiple times in a certain amount of years. Even look at the Giants. They never made the playoffs the years that they would win every even year.
Yeah. But you don't even see teams go there as consistently as the Dodgers have.
No, you don't. And in my opinion, you see a team like the Dodgers that's this well assembled, there's no reason they shouldn't win a World Series eventually. It's going to happen. Boston was one of the greatest teams in the last 20 years when they lost to them.
Yeah.
They get cheated of a World Series with the Astros, and the Astros were a great baseball team. Verlander, Cole, McCullers, Charlie Morton, and that lineup.
That team was
so
cheating aside.
So you can't sit here and say the Dodgers are choke artists, this, that, and the other thing. Look who they lost to last year. The World Series champions. They don't lose to anyone other than the champion. So it's their time. The Dodgers are going to win this World Series. I love the Rays. I think they have great pitching. But if the Dodgers would have played a 162-game season this year, I would have bet the over on them winning more than 115 games. They're that good. They are just so well managed, so well developed. Andrew Friedman is the best executive in any sport. Any. So I just think that the Dodgers are going to win this series. I don't think it's going to be a sweep or anything.
Okay.
I think it's going to go to 6. But I just don't see the Dodgers losing. And my MVP is going to be either, I have two picks for MVP.
Okay.
Mookie Betts I'll dive into first. I think, you trade for a guy that big. He's going to shine in the big moment. He's always done it. It's his time to shine. I think you really prove that trade. Win now. Win a World Series now. MVP of the World Series. I don't see any reason against it. I think he just wants to go out and win one. The second choice is Clayton Kershaw. It's time. It's time. You saw David Price do it in 2016 or 2017?
I believe 2016.
Whatever year the Red Sox won.
No, it was 2017.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was 2018. But
true.
David Price. Look at what happened with David Price. Historically a Cy Young Award winner. Just a great all-around pitcher, and guess what? Struggled in the postseason throughout his whole career, except for his rookie year. Kershaw is going to right that ship this year, and just like David Price, guide them to win the World Series. I guarantee you he makes 2 starts and comes out of the bullpen around once or twice. And he just dominates. He's one of the greatest pitchers over the last 15 to 20 years. As a Hall of Famer, it is his time.
I mean, winning a World Series would cement him as an all-time great player in the history of all-time great pitcher in the history of baseball. 100%. This is finally the time. I mean, then you would look at his resume, everything else he's done. He's been to 3 World Series. He would have won 1. It's his time. I do agree with you. I think Clayton Kershaw is finally going to just shut everyone up, play good baseball, pitch the lights out, and take down Tampa Bay. I can see this going to 6, but I think Clayton Kershaw is going to show out and finally just end all that criticism that he's had over the past, decade.
Oh, definitely.
Dodgers are going to win the World Series.
I want to give the Rays credit, though.
Oh, for sure.
Amazing organization to be able to do what they do year in and year out and just compete with that many moving parts, because you can't stay stagnant in a situation where you only have at most $70 million to spend.
Yeah.
So and this is actually the Andrew Friedman World Series. He was instrumental in starting Tampa, then left to go to the Dodgers for obviously, more money, more opportunity, a better shot at a World Series. Just like Chaim Bloom is now doing with Boston. So, you know what? I tip my cap to the Rays. If they win, I would not be mad about this prediction. I think this is honestly a perfect World Series to cement baseball as a numbers game and make people stop thinking that you still have to play the classic game of baseball. Baseball is now about player development, like it should have always been. It is about taking chances on guys that don't get the opportunity in the first place they were brought up and not developed well. And it is about just straight pitching. Hitting's never been harder than it is now, with spin rates and velocities and things that we've just never seen before, and they're only getting better.
Yeah.
Develop pitching. Develop guys that are just going to win games in a lineup. If you're going to spend money, spend it on pitching or a superstar. I'm not giving $10 million to a second baseman that's going to hit me 260 with 20 bombs.
No.
It's just not happening anymore. And I'm happy to see the game is spending money more efficiently. It is doing things the right way, how it should be. And if you, in a front office, sit there and don't do what the Dodgers and the Rays and now the Red Sox and now the Yankees are all doing, you're behind. 100% behind.
That's why those teams are not in the World Series at the moment.
Look at the Mets. They're going to keep going out and spending on big players. Don't do it.
Got to develop guys, too.
Develop. Why bring Sandy Alderson back? Other than for an advisory role.
Yeah. That's all he's there for.
These things are just not worth it. Go get a young whiz kid. Develop your talent. Draft your talent. take chances on guys that hit the open market for pennies on the dollar, and you'll win a championship. Look at the two teams that are in it.
I mean, the Rays spending is not high at all. I mean, the Dodgers did end up going out and getting Mookie Betts to put themselves over the edge, but a lot of their players, I mean, they've developed pretty much everything else. I do see your point there, and I do like that idea. The Mets are just going to end up spending a ton of money the next 3 off seasons. We'll see if it works. I don't think it'll win a championship. It'll make them relevant, but it won't put them in a position the Dodgers or the Rays are in right now. And I do see where you're going there. But I mean, as for this World Series as a whole, it's going to be the Dodgers winning this World Series, although the Rays have a very good shot to do so, especially with their pitching right now. Can they keep up to the Dodgers? We'll see. I think they're a lot closer than we might be giving them credit for, but it's up to them to show it. They play tonight at 8:11 Eastern Standard Time. Joe, anything else to add?
I do want to actually give my congratulations to a baseball legend on his basic retirement from the game.
Okay.
Billy Beane changed the sport. Basically took Bill James's idea and ran with it and put a team together doing it. He is absolutely, he might not have a championship to show for it, but he changed the game of baseball to the point where it will never go back to the old days. As a Red Sox fan, when I saw the news about him combining with the Warner Group, thought it was slam dunk. He's going to Boston, I was so excited. But I get it. 30 years in the game, wants to go to soccer, something else you have a passion for, I get it. But I just think everyone in the game of baseball, should thank Billy Beane. And this game is the game that he wanted to create now. If you've ever read the book Moneyball, ever watched the movie, anything, just ever heard him speak, this Rays team is doing exactly what he wants.
Yeah.
You can compete with anyone, with any salary cap, any money problems, small market. You can win a World Series. You can 100% win a World Series if you make the right moves. You have to be creative, and that's what Tampa's doing. That's why they're playing a team that can spend $250 million in the World Series when they can only spend about 70.
Yeah. And now it's just up to them to win the games. 4 games, you got to win 4 games, and you can really make that statement and show him that he was right. And I mean, just the fact that they're in the World Series just proves that to me. But yeah, congratulations to him. I mean, I'll give my one congratulations to Doc Emmerich, a big hockey play-by-play guy, retired after like decades in the game. But that's hockey. That's just a quick note from me. All right, Joe, that will do it for us. We have the Dodgers winning in 6. I think we both agree on that. Great talking with you. Thank you for coming on the show as always, and thank you all for watching. We are on the break. I'm John. That's Joe next to me. We will see you later. Let's go watch some baseball.